Okay, so we're back. We have a huge week this week. This is tonight. Donald Trump is going to hold what will likely be his last political rally as president in Georgia in support of incumbent Republican senators Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue. Even though he's been insisting that the Georgia Senate races are rigged, he's still saying go and vote for Kelly and David. We're going to cover that rally live tonight. Tomorrow are the two runoffs in Georgia. Tomorrow night, we will cover results live as they come in. And then Wednesday, January 6th, Vice President Mike Pence is going to preside over a formal counting of the electoral vote in front of a joint session of the House and the Senate. And we have learned that some Republicans are planning to try to steal the election from Joe Biden, who, remember, won by quite a bit. This is the biggest attack that we've seen on the fundamentals of democracy in the United States in a very long time. The term sedition is being used, and I'm here to tell you that, yes, it is disgusting, and no, it will not work. So let's go through it so that you understand why. These are delusional ideas that are being put forward by Republicans, that on January 6th, Mike Pence can choose, instead of counting the actual electoral votes, for example, from Pennsylvania, Biden won Pennsylvania, Democratic electors voted for Joe Biden. Beautiful. There are Republicans claiming Mike Pence can say, no, I'm not going to accept those electoral votes. I'm going to accept these alternate Republican electoral votes from Pennsylvania. He can't do that. Mike Pence cannot do that. That's not going to happen. That's a fantasy. Mike Pence doesn't have that power. Mike Pence's role in this is strictly ceremonial. But what we are going to see are objections from the floor from both some House Republicans and some Senate Republicans to the counting of the electoral votes that have been legally cast by electors. Right now, it's expected that there are going to be 11 Republican senators who will claim, I object because of irregularities. And they will ask for an emergency 10-day audit to investigate. Now, remember, they've been investigating 2 months. Not a single court has found any of their arguments meritorious. Now, the really scary part is that because of the fomenting of baseless anger by Trump and others, there are expected to be multiple rallies and gatherings of Trumpists in D.C. on Wednesday, and there are fears of violence. A variety of groups are expected to be there. There are threats of violence, calls for an armed encampment, which sounds a lot like that Chaz and Chop thing that Trumpists were denouncing over the summer when it was over the George Floyd protests. But Chaz and Chop only wanted to govern themselves. These lunatics want to govern the entire country by imposing an unelected president on the United States. We've come to expect that hypocrisy. I won't dwell on that today. And there are even some Republicans calling for violence. Cuckoo Congressman Louis Gohmert, for example, said, in effect, the court ruling would be you got to go to the streets and be as violent as Antifa and Black Lives Matter. That's Louis Gohmert, former judge, saying that. Attorney Lynn Wood, who's a pro-Trump lawyer that's been at the center of a lot of this nonsense, says Mike Pence should be executed for treason. So many allusions and incitements to violence going on, and we'll see what happens on that front on Wednesday. But the bottom line, what happens voting-wise on Wednesday? So here's how it will go. Some Republicans will object to the counting of the votes. It will trigger a couple of hours of debate in each chamber, Senate and House, and then there will be a vote about whether to uphold the objections. Neither the House nor Senate will vote to uphold the objections, and Joe Biden's election will be certified. That's what's going to happen. So all of this, weeks of planning and plotting and threatening, this will lead to a delay of a few hours on Wednesday, and we will cover all of it live for you. They are attacking our basic democratic systems, and they should be held accountable. It's unclear if these Republicans are going to be held accountable, but this is really the last thing we need in the middle of a pandemic that has dramatically been mishandled, where we have an urgent need to put someone else in charge of managing the pandemic. Joe Biden already has a team, already has a task force. They've been meeting, they've been working. And there couldn't be this, it would never be acceptable to attack democracy in this way. But this is an acutely bad time to do it. So let me know on Twitter what you expect to see happen on Wednesday. You can find me on Twitter at @Pakman. Start your day and your new year off right with Just Egg, which is one of our sponsors. You've heard me talk about the importance of having a diet that is more heavily plant-based than it's something I've done over the last few years. I've always loved eggs. So it's great that there is a delicious plant-based version of egg with all the protein of egg that Just Egg brings with it, but it's made from mung beans. So it uses 98% less water and causes 93% fewer carbon emissions than a conventional egg. And Just Egg cooks and tastes exactly like a conventional egg. I've tried it for omelets, scrambled eggs, French toast, banana bread, pad thai, anything you'd normally use eggs for. And I actually think if I cooked something for a friend without telling them about Just Egg, they wouldn't even know the difference. Find it in the egg aisle at your grocery store, on Amazon Prime now, or on Instacart. And they also have a frozen version perfect for breakfast sandwiches. Just Egg. Try it out.